Here we go. I know I only have 3 minutes. I can't go over 3 minutes. So, a woman dies and goes to heaven. She gets to St. Peter's Gate. She's like, well, what do I need to do to get into heaven? And St. Peter says, you need to pass a test. And she said, what is that? And he said, well, you need to spell a word. And she said, what word? And he said, any word you want. And she said, oh, okay, great. Love, L-O-V-E. The gates open. She gets into heaven. And he said, well, wait a second. I need to go on break. Can you watch the gate for a second? And she said, me? And he said, yeah. And she said, okay, well, what do I do if someone comes to the gate when you're gone? And he said, well, that's simple. Do what I did. Just ask them to spell a word. And she said, great, okay. As soon as St. Peter leaves, her ex-husband shows up at the gate. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he said, well, there was a car crash. And so what do I need to do to get into heaven? She said, oh, you just have to spell a word. He said, really? He said, what word? And she said, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Bada bing. So you may be wondering why I did that, and that is so I can step up from the crowd. I know you have hundreds and hundreds of people that are sending in their resume. So I just wanted to be a little bit different, take a risk, and I think that's what you guys are all about anyway. I have had my own business. I understand how important a reputation is for a company. I know how easily that could get ruined on the internet and how quickly it can happen. So I have always gone above and beyond in customer service, as my work in my own business, but also as a convention supervisor. I often had to deal with stressful doctors and lawyers and different kinds of businessmen who needed quick solutions to problems, and they were very impatient, often flying in from somewhere, and we couldn't find a registration, or their presentation wasn't working, their PowerPoint wasn't working. So just making sure people know that everything is fixable, everything is doable, everything is workable. So that's what I bring to the customer service experience. I have over 15 years of customer service experience. So yeah. So I hope you did enjoy the joke. It is a good one. And just as a side note, I had gotten a position as a bartender in New Orleans where there were over 200 applications for this one position. And I emailed the hiring manager, the bar manager, this joke. And he said, it worked. It worked at least enough to get me an interview with him. So, anyway, we are at 2 minutes, 48 seconds. I don't have another joke that I could tell in 10 seconds. So I think that I am going to sign off now, which is 3 minutes. Okay, thanks guys. Good luck.